What the and hot glue this in. So I would say this car is definitely better than before. And for this tofu car, the blower blows, but there's no heater core. I mean, it does have a heater core, but it's broken. So you see a lug nut in place. I put this there to pressure wash the engine bay. There's no connection. It's broken. Okay, so to do this correctly, you have to take out the dashboard. But as you can see, there's no cracks on the dashboard. Besides all the work it takes to remove the dashboard, cluster, speedo cable, all the connectors, all the vents to the AC, taking out the AC evaporator, and everything covering all that, you also risk cracking this fragile dashboard. So after consulting multiple people and scouring the internet for no information that IRA didn't know, I came up with an idea how to streamline this process. I reparked it sideways in my garage. This way I can open this door up wide and this door open wide. I have lots of room for activities. You know, we're just gonna get our number 2 JDM screwdriver and we're going to take off all this plastic. Luckily I just had this off the other week. Okay, take this out, pop open, and drop out. Surprise, surprise. These hives are literally everywhere in this car. This speaker should pop off, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Dude, imagine taking off the whole dashboard. What a nightmare. Ooh. Only reason we took off that was to get to this. So glad engineers didn't put a third bolt there. Or they did put a third bolt, a fourth bolt. The previous owner just left it out. Thank you. There we go. So far so good. The thought of doing all this was actually worse than doing it. Thought of the dashboard being taken off, that's even worse. 4 of these bad boys holding it in. Okay, as I'm struggling to take off the connections here, I just took them off through here. So we're just taking off the other end. This just is pinched in and there's a cable with a loop. This is already off. There we go. Not even any room to record. Check that out. We got to take off this little duct. And this is different hardware. So we haven't officially broken anything yet. So. Okay. Dude, are those all baby spiders? So once you take off that duct, we reveal the backside of the heater core. My plan is to cut off the backside of this and slide the heater core out. There's a lot of linkages and gizmos here. Okay, so for this surgery, I will be using a Dremel 3000 with a fiber reinforced disc. So it's very important I get the top, not the side. I will just take the cutter and go along. Okay, boys, keep your eyes on the prize. I was struggling to take off this little lever. It has this little lip that I just grinded that. We took the Dremel, cut what we could all the way around, and then I couldn't get the rest, so I got a hacksaw and cut it by hand. Here's the back side of this. Only thing I'm worried about is this catching the box. What the fuck? Are you serious? Woo! What the hell? We did it! Oh, this was really satisfying. So the only reason I think this got hung up was, like I said, it's a little too long. So I mean, I'm fine with cutting that shorter. It's already cracked actually. Then I gotta solder on a new fitting to the top. So we'll probably just cut this shorter, solder on another fitting to the top, and then we gotta flush this thing because I don't know if this thing is clogged or what. I was gonna 3D print a little flange, but honestly, I mean, this thing has foam tape and insulation and whatever. This just needs to be on here really good because it has this lever. This is why you save a bunch of junk. I have this. I don't even know what this came off of, to be honest. I think this came off of the hardtop because that heater core broke. So this would literally fit in there because this is the width and thickness I'm working with. But it doesn't matter because that's cracked already. I want to say these are parallel. You see how this is oval? It shouldn't be oval. It's probably oval because someone clamped it in the vise. So we're going to clamp it in the vise. And we're just going to give this a little tappa. We'll just do this. There we go. We're just going to scrub off and clean this whole area. Okay, this is exactly where I want it. I want it upright so it pulls around this joint. We got some solder here. We got some flux. Already filled this whole bottom section. All right, so here's the joint. A little bit of solder ended up here, but I think we'll be okay. So like I said, we got to cut this because anything off of this plane will come in contact because we're putting it in the wrong way. So we cut it. It should slide in and out, no problem. We should probably make sure this slides in and out without a problem. There we go. A little shorter, but we can make those connections work. You just slide it out. So we have our ultrasonic washer here. Take this greasy vinegar that we've cleaned carburetors and rusty pipes with. Pour it in. I figure while the sonic washer is going, we'll clean up all the burr here, and then we'll design something in Fusion 360. I have this water pump, and it's been circulating while I've had it on, and we're just circulating this hot fluid. So this is what I came up with. I got a Schrader valve here, hose clamp to this, and then I have a shank style lug nut hose clamp to this. So we're going to submerge this, and then I will fill it up with air and we look for bubbles. Okay, let's see if this works. We got right there. I mean, the joint that I soldered looks good. So the leak is coming from the second row. So on the inside of the end tank, it is very tiny. So I'm gonna do my best to clean the inside of here, torch it, and solder it. And so I'm hoping just a little bit of flux, it'll resolder the joint on the inside. Throttle 18. Okay, it is still leaking. Oh, and to show you my repair, I literally just layered a bunch of solder on both sides with a bunch of flux to fill up any kind of pinholes. I've had this at 15.5 and it's looking decent. I don't see any obvious leak besides my connection right here. We are back inside of the car and I printed this little trim, which I'm gonna need to shave to get on. But this will give me a little more area and meat so this can be attached. Check this out. We got the flange in place. You just plop this end piece in and you're done. So I'm going to hot glue this in and then hot glue this in. Okay, let's hot glue all of this. All right, it is hot glued in there. Now I just got to assemble everything together and wire up the heater. I got 3 heater hoses. These were the cheapest selections from Rock Auto. 2 Continentals and an AC Delco. This is where it just loops. Let's just take it off. Took off the hoses and matched up the replacements. And what's actually funny is this is part of the original heater core. All right, we're just gonna cut this right here. Okay. So I'm literally just gonna pressurize the system and see if it sprays out the other side. Oh yeah. Okay, I have successfully put on the heater hoses. It almost looks like it's factory, huh? While we're here, I feel obligated to change our radiator hoses. Maybe not. We'll just leave it till it blows up. Couldn't find the adapter for this, but just jams in here. All right, we will let all this idle, right? And we'll let this bubble away. Sometimes it helps if you squeeze that. Okay, it is the next day. I have all these grimy, dusty parts and rusty parts, and I'm waiting for a faceplate that I ordered for this thing. The inside is still a mess and in shambles. And I fired up my sonic washer again with some Dawn dish soap and some vinegar. I'm going to be taking these parts and tossing them in there. And then this is rusty. We'll see if it knocks off any of that rust. I wasn't going to go this far, but here we are. Taking apart everything and just dunking it. Okay, so far so good. I'm putting everything in there. Look at this nasty glove box, right? Okay, so this whole time the radio brackets have been at the bottom of this. Damn. Yeah, that's definitely better than before. Look at that. I think we're at the final selection. We are at the glove box. If you look in there, it is super gross. Alright, so once this is done, we'll just toss in all the hardware while we're at it. I got everything on this rack drying. Check out those radio brackets. This whole bracket. Like, that came out pretty good. All the nasty plastics are less nasty. And then the glove box. Just need to wipe down all those water stains. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's a success. So we'll wipe all this down, throw some Armor All on here, give her a quick spit shine, and she'll be good as new. All I'm gonna do is clean up really good in here, vacuum and dust off all this nasty stuff. Oof. Okay, with one thing leading to another, I decided to take this off. We'll toss all these plastic pieces in first. Plates and dunk it. Got this thing loose. Pull out these connectors. So we take out our cluster. We are greeted with a bunch of dirt along the edges. So of course we're going to clean that and clean all the dirt all around. And literally all the bulbs on this thing are dead. Not even the turn signal lights work. Okay, let's get our bulbs. Okay, so we have a left but not a right. So if we flip this bulb upside down, a lot of scratches on here. You guys put way too much on here. God damn it. Definitely little specks of stuff on the inside. I don't know how I managed to not break a tab yet. Ooh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely dusty in here. Don't get your greasy fingerprints on the inside of this thing. Click it back into place. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. Nice. So I gotta put that back in. I got these parts rinsed, and this is from the Sonic washer. Check that out. I mean, not the cleanest, but also not the dirtiest. So now we just have to put this back together with all my interior in the trunk. Just to show you, we got the climate control together. I'm waiting for another faceplate, but just to see that it works. Fresh air, recirculated air. And then we have our heat door and heater core. And then we have face and feet only, feet defrost. I bled the coolant system yesterday. Let's just get an ambient temperature here. 65. Okay, let that warm up because it's so cold. Look how crispy these lights are. Bam! And they're still dimmable to a certain degree. Okay, testing out the valves. The valves definitely do work. Definitely. And defrosters. Nice. Okay, let's go back to that. This thing is pretty warm. Even though the engine's so cold, we got heat in here. So I can only imagine it getting better. So I would say this car is definitely better than before. Couldn't help myself but to put everything in, even though this faceplate's broken. But yeah,